Welcome, everybody. It is just a little bit past 10 o'clock. We're about to get underway with our Salient Exchange for March 27th, 2025. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. Everybody that is on the session with us today, your phones will all be muted by default. If you have any questions that you want to ask us, we welcome those. Just feel free to put those into the chat. Drop them into a QA for us, and that's accessible at the top bar, as you can see here on the screen. Drop those questions in. We'll get to them as time permits through the session. And this recording will be available for all of you. If you don't have a login to our portal on our website, just go to salientsys.com, hit the login button, set up an account, and in your portal account, you should then get access to the recording of today's session. So give us just a bit here, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right. For those of you that may know me or don't know me, my name is Adam Benson. I am the VP of Customer Operations, and I am super excited to be here with you today on our Salient Exchange. I've got the rest of Team Product here with me today. I've got Chris, Dan, and Eric, and we're going to be collectively showing you some of the things that you can expect to see in CompleteView version 7.6 that will be available for May. We'll go through some of the pretty cool software highlights. We'll talk a bit about what's available, and we'll give you some demonstrations of what those things look like. Dan's also going to spend some time talking to you about some updates that come from the land of integration. And then we'll spend a little bit of time towards the end of our session today going through some of the QA that you guys are going to drop into that chat session. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Eric is going to give us a quick walkthrough of some of the cool things to expect in 7.6. So Eric, go ahead and take it away.
Sure thing. Yeah. So like Adam said, my name's Eric Saturnus. I'm our product manager for web and mobile clients, cloud services, website, all the web related things. So I'm really excited about this release. We've got a number of improvements that we're pushing through. First one I want to talk about here is an optimization for all of our remote access cloud customers. We've added in logic to automatically detect if your system is on a local area network. So if you're working from home, you log in with our cloud URL, your mobile app, your web client, all of that is all good. You come on site the next day, do the same thing, log in with your cloud URL again, and we'll automatically detect that local network is available. So this keeps your bandwidth down, especially if you've got a lot of clients on your systems, and it just ensures that you get a faster, more responsive experience when you're using those clients. So really excited to see that optimization go in this time around. If we jump onto the next one here, also for our federated users, now the mobile app and the web client are ready for you. If you're not sure what federation is, that's okay. Chris is going to talk about that in a little more detail in a little while here, but at a high level, one of the big benefits from a federated system is being able to separate out your sites so that it simplifies your management and administration of all those. So if you're using our web client, you're using our mobile client, scoping all of the context down to a single site can greatly increase the speed and simplify your experience. Scoping down those maps, cameras, views, just to the information that you need. And then when you're ready, you want to go work with another site. There's a little drop down up in the top right on both of those applications, so you can switch to the other one. So you don't have to go remember all of the management URLs for every single one of your sites. You can remember one of them, log in, and instantly switch back and forth between them. So that's ready with 7.6 for all of our federated users. And the last one I'm really excited to talk about is that we've made a number of really, really great improvements, expanding the capabilities for investigations using our web client. So you can see, all of you CompleteView users, these will probably look very familiar. We try to borrow a lot of the workflow and UI elements to keep this as clean and smooth as we could and easy for you to adopt. This allows you now in this upcoming release to review multiple cameras at a time. We've added in a timeline bar so you can scrub, seek, search between all of your events really, really easily. And then once you find the event that you're interested in, it's really simple and quick to export a bundle of all of those clips that are associated with it together. So actually, I think, Adam, let's jump into a demo of that then.
Yeah, that's really cool. So Eric's going to go ahead and get set up and give us a demonstration of some of the things that we just talked about. But this is a really cool level up for us in terms of the web client and the mobile apps. It's basically, bringing that parity a little bit closer for your desktop client to the web client and the mobile apps. Being able to use federation with all of the potential clients being able to perform a faster and easier investigation with that multi-camera playback and that enhanced playback experience with the timeline scrubbing on the bottom. All of those things should make it a whole lot easier for you to be able to use the web client more frequently in places where maybe you didn't want to install that desktop client. And also, it's going to work seamlessly with cloud, so we can be super smart about making connections over the LAN instead of using your WAN connection for everything. So super cool stuff. And Eric's going to go ahead and walk us through real quick what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely. So here you can see I've got one of our beta demo systems available that I'm logging into. So hopefully everything is working. I'm doing a live demo here, so we'll find out. So you can see I've just logged in to one of our systems. You can see our little site switching selector up at the top right here if we needed to switch sites. But let's just go through a use case here. Let's say I'm trying to do an investigation. Maybe this is a little contrived, but it was one I could set up in the office here. Let's say there's a notorious fridge thief. Somebody keeps going into the break room and stealing lunch from the marketing team or something like that. And so, one of our marketing folks came to me the other day and said, hey, I think it was right around 9:45, 10 o'clock that I looked in the fridge the other day. My lunch was missing. And I remember it was right around that time there was this really loud, like, blue car that drove by my window. And so let's maybe start there and see how we can get in. So over on the left here, we have all of our cameras available to this system. I'm going to go through and grab a couple that seem relevant to that event. So let's grab this window one right here that's outside of our marketing space, so we can see if that car was driving by. And then let's grab a couple more here. Let's go grab, maybe they walked by the front door. Definitely would have gone down by the marketing hallway then. And of course, let's get the break room as well here. So let's pull all of those video cameras in so we can look for the event. And so this should look really similar to what you've seen in CompleteView before. Again, we tried to borrow as much as we could from there, but let's jump in. So let's say this was on the 26th. They said 9:45, around 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. So let's maybe start there and see what we find. We'll go ahead and search. And you can see we start immediately loading all of that video. You can see we're buffering some of the video data to get it ready to play. And obviously we can move forward and everything, but I'm not seeing any events on our camera looking outside, seeing a car was driving by. I can see there's a couple in the future here. So maybe let's just jump to the next event in the future. Well, let's try playing off of that one and see if we can find that car driving by. So somebody's in the break room. Okay, wait, there. I think that might have been it. So that is... yeah, that definitely looks like that blue car that they were talking about. So this looks like we might be close to our time period here. Let's just zoom in, make the scrubbing a little bit easier here. I can see down here there's somebody in the break room, but it doesn't look like they're going into the fridge. So I don't think that's the person I'm looking for. So maybe let's just keep going a little bit. Let's jump ahead here. Maybe we can keep playing. Try to get some video data buffering up a little bit ahead of us. Live demo, of course. I'm hitting the edges here. Okay, there we go. We can see somebody walking down the hallway here. Keep following them. It looks like a shady guy right there.
Very shady.
Very shady. Yeah. All right. Okay, we can see him going into the fridge, and there we go. Looks like he took something very casual. Didn't even hesitate. All right. So we can see. Looks like he grabbed it. All right. Stole marketing's Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola there. And we can kind of see him walking off into the distance with his bounty. So, all right, let's kind of mark our times here. So it looked like, maybe right around 9:49 was the end, and I think we were right around 9:48 when we started. So now we found our event. I want to go export video from that. So I'm going to go select these three cameras. I don't really care about the car going by, but I do want to see all those angles of Mr. Eric here walking through. So I'm going to go select those and hit this trim and export up at the top right. You can see my three cameras are selected in here. I still have my timeline at the bottom. I'm just going to pick the window of time that I want to export from. So let's go we don't have to be super precise here. Let's say, about a minute, get a little bit of extra on either end for now. And I can go and add those three clips to my export queue. And so immediately, very quickly, that all goes through. If I jump up here, you see we have our other module for the export queue. And there are my three clips. You can see my front door, my hallway, and my break room all built in there right now. And if I want, I can give it a different name. I can change the description. Video player built in right here if I wanted to continue to trim and refine that further. But let's say we've gone through all those exercises. We're happy with the clips the way they are. I want to select all of those and now download those to my computer. So I select those three clips. I hit this export button here. This should look familiar to y'all. If I want, I can give it a name. I can give it a session. So this is just a summary of the event that happened. Oops, let's go on to the next one here. Get used to my keyboard. Change the description, location, all that. It just gives a little summary file for us to remember. Or if you're using Salient's video player, it'll automatically recognize the format of this file and show that when you play your video. All that looks good. Let's hit continue, and you can see it started right away. We've got the export kicked off. Our clips are processing, giving us some feedback there, and we've got our little bar down at the bottom. And what's really cool about this one is I can leave. That's all running on the server. I can go back into playback. I can keep going back and working on my next investigation, playing through, looking for some more video. And when that export's done, it's going to give me a little notification saying that it's ready to go. So if you have any long exports, really long clips or something like that, that might take some time, minutes, you don't have to walk away anymore. You can keep working with the system. So I can just jump back. I can see all my clips have processed, and my clip is ready to download. So I hit my download button here, get a little zip file with all of those clips and my summary all ready to go. So that's kind of the whole flow of doing an investigation in the web client. So again, this will be coming out with 7.6. I do want to call out, though, that this is a opt-in feature that we're doing. There's still some work that we want to do on it. Don't want to imply that it's low quality or anything like that, but there's some performance optimizations that we want to work on for the future. Today, we're doing all of that video processing, all the resolution scaling, everything on the server before we stream it up to the client. And so that can have a little bit of an impact on your recording server. And so it takes some consideration and some planning based on the number of clients you think might be using it simultaneously, all those factors. And so we wanted to make sure that you have control. This is an opt-in feature, so you get to pick and choose who's going to be able to use it. And we've also expanded the resource protection policies on the recording server. So if I'm on that playback area and I start to get close to a threshold, the client will get a little insufficient resources warning, letting them know that we're protecting the server to make sure that there's no loss in recording integrity or anything like that. And so you can expect to see some more improvements on this coming up in future releases. We're going to keep investing in optimizing in that. And moving forwards, we're looking toward more client-based operations like H.264 and H.265. So I think I can wrap up there, Adam, if you want to take over.
Yeah, cool. That's super awesome, Eric. Thanks for showing us that. I mean, as you all may recognize, a lot of that stuff looks fairly familiar because it's gonna be very similar to what your desktop client is currently capable of. So this really should open things up for you in terms of endpoints, client endpoints, places where you might want to install, might not want to have to install the desktop client. It's a lot easier to manage and maintain a web client as the utility. So for those users that are going to look at a lot of live video, need to do an occasional investigation, and want to have a little bit of a level up, being able to use this in 7.6 should be a really good thing for them. So thanks for walking us through all that, Eric. All right, so Chris is up next. Chris is going to talk to us a bit about some of the cool things that are coming in Federation. Chris, you want to take it away?
Yeah, thanks, Adam. So while we have some exciting things in Federation land coming up for 7.6, I want to give a little recap for those that are new to Salient or that maybe haven't thought about Federation since 7.5 when we originally released the functionality. So a couple of key takeaways for Federation is that we wanted to enable customers to deploy multiple management servers within their deployment. That helps remove the single point of failure by just having that one single management server. It also allows us to enable each of those sites or wherever you have a management server to operate autonomously in the event that the connection between your site and your child site and your parent site is interrupted. So your users or your operators at those local sites can continue to operate as long as they can connect to their child or their site management server. With having these different management servers within your deployment, you want to make it easy for your customers or your operators to be able to navigate from one site to the next without having to go and remember a bunch of server addresses, have to log in and out as you're moving through those. So again, Federation and 7.5 allowed that easy navigation between one site and another. As I said, this is really meant for your multi-site deployment. So if you're a small franchise with 4 or 5 sites and you're looking to have a way to easily navigate and monitor each of those, this would be good for you, all the way up to customers that are enterprise customers that have sites deployed around the world. So a really good use for those people that have multiple sites that need some of the capabilities that we have in Federation. Let's talk about some of the capabilities that we're releasing in 7.6. We'll start with Federation users and groups. So if we think about this, this is an overlay to the existing users and groups that we have within CompleteView today. So that functionality for the local users will continue to exist. However, with federation users and groups, the real strength here is now that you can add users and groups centrally. It'll actually be added to the parent management server. That'll be where those users exist, so to speak. And then by giving permissions, they'll be provisioned on each of the different sites that you've given them access to. So the real strength is for the customers that are not using Active Directory. You can go stand up your VMS users, as we've called them, or our now Federation VMS users, and you can add the users there, you can update their passwords, all of that from one single interface, as opposed to having to go to each and every management server, each and every site, and update the credentials or user information at each of those sites. This does work with Active Directory, so you can bring in the Active Directory into Federation. But with using Active Directory, you don't have to use the Federation user group. So as long as each of your sites can authenticate back to the same Active Directory domain, you can continue using Active Directory without having to go and configure the Federation user group. So something to think about when you're starting to consider Federation and how I'm going to use my manage my users within the overall system. If you have gone through and you do have a bunch of users that are locally defined and you want to continue down that path, you can't, continue to manage them at each and every site. You can do that. We don't break that functionality for you. So again, consider this as an overlay and an enhancement to your capabilities within user management. Let's talk about the next functionality, which is one of the big things with Federation. Is it's one thing to be able to go and say, hey, from the ground up, I'm going to build my architecture with the concept of Federation in mind with multiple servers. But if you're an existing customer, we want to give you a way that you can migrate up to 7.6 and even be able to easily roll out and adopt a Federation. And we're doing that through what we call our recording server transfer utility. It's a standalone utility which will effectively go and connect to a management server, and you will be able to select which recording servers that you want to copy out of that single management server and go point it to a new management server, and you can then paste those configurations, those recording servers, into the new management server. When you do this, the things that are going to come along with that recording server, as you would imagine, is the configuration of the recording server itself, but additionally the users, as well as views and maps that are associated with the cameras in there. And then when it's imported into that new management server, it will go through and it will rebuild the views and maps for you. So this saves you the time and effort of having to go and manually rebuild your entire configuration for your recording servers, for your views and maps. And again, the easy way to transfer these recording servers from one management server to another. While we talk about this in the context of Federation, you can also think about it if you are a company that takes and buys properties and sells properties off and so on and so forth, and you need to transfer a recording server from your production environment to someone who you've sold the company to, and you want to put it on their system. This is a tool that can help you with that process too. So really think about it as a tool that will enable people to move recording servers from one management server to another. The real benefit is early adoption, or not early adoption, but adoption of Federation for you. So that's really where we targeted. As I said, there's a standalone tool, and when you're considering Federation, we recommend that you work with our systems engineering and our tech support staff to make sure that we can help you and address any questions, concerns that you have, and even willing to help you with those initial migrations from your single management server to additional management servers. Let's go through a quick little demo here of Federation users and groups.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. So while Chris is getting set up, I mean, just to kind of recap, for those of you that want to get away from a single management server deployment, Federation is the tool that allows you to do that. And we've continued to build on that capability by giving you the ability to centrally manage users and groups that live inside your Federation without having a negative impact on any of the local users that you can drop inside those different children management servers. And we now have a tool and a way that can help get you from your existing install into a federated environment with minimal impact and downtime to your existing environment. So that migration tool should be pretty handy way to let you move into that structure without taking your whole system offline for a significant period of time. Looks like Chris is all set up. So Chris, you want to go ahead and show us how it looks?
Sure. So here I am. I'm going to be logging into, this is my management server address here. I'm going to log in as an admin. And what we're going to go through here is one of the processes for removing a user. So the process to remove a user and add a user are fairly similar. So make it a little easier. You don't have to watch me type here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into configure. And as Eric pointed out, just like in the web client, we have this drop down here, and you can see and you can switch to different sites that I have in here. I know that I'm on the parent because when I look at this page here, I don't have any parent information. But additionally, as I look at my left-hand navigation over here, I see some additional information such as sites, users, groups. These will be attributes that only be available from your parent management server. So if I go from my federation, which is the information for my general federation as well as my parent management server, I can also click the sites button, which shows me all the sites that I have in my deployment. And as I expand the node here for users or groups, I can select the user here in this case. And I've realized that this guy here is no longer working for the company, and I'm going to remove him. But I want to see, hey, where all is he at? And so I can select that user, and I can say, hey, he's a member of this federation group, and this federation group has access to these different sites here. So when I remove this user here from my federation, I should be able to verify that they no longer have access over here. And I want to show you what that looks like real quick. So I'm going to switch over to child site 44. So that's one here. Oh, I have a problem with that one. That's why we have a backup. So we'll go to child 6, which that federation group is also pushed down to. So I come in here, and that was Garner Test was the group. And we can see, hey, here's the different users that are in that federation group that has access to the site. And when I go back over here to my parent, oh, I gotta hit the right parent. Come back into the parent, and I can, again, select this user, hit remove user, confirm it. If I go look at the groups now, and I select the group, I can see that that user is definitively gone from my federation group. I can go look at that child site, again, looking at that user or that federation group, and I can see that he's no longer in there. So that's a real easy way to take that federation VMS user out of commission on all of your different sites without ever actually having to go and validate this here. So I want to do it so you can actually see that it's gone, but we've done a lot of work on this to make sure that this is robust. When we remove them from there, from the federation, it works through and takes that off. You may ask yourself, well, what happens if that management server, the child management server is offline? Whenever there's a connection restored between the parent or between the child and the parent management server, any changes will then be pushed down to those child management servers. So, while that person would still be able to access it while they're waiting for those updates, once they have those updates, that child management server, all those will be processed and they would be properly approved out of here. So we have taken considerations into some of those disconnection or interruption periods as well. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Adam.
Awesome. Yeah. So basically, I mean, what I think I saw you do there, Chris, was you set up a user or took a user out of multiple different child management servers in basically one click, just from a very top level. So pretty easy way to take users out of lots of different management servers and manage them in a much more simple way. So thanks for that. I am going to get myself shared over here, and we'll move on to the next little bit. Thanks, Chris. All right, so a couple other things that we want to talk to you guys about is a one IP address equals a single camera license. I'm sure most of you have probably heard this in a conversation and working with our sales team that if it's the same IP address and it's the same camera type, then we don't charge you for the additional license. As we've developed our technologies and our different driver sets, that logic hasn't always necessarily been enforced by the product. It's been stuff that we've given away, right? We'll add licenses to your deployment to make those things be true for you guys. But what that can also do is maybe produce some difficult things for you when you're coming back to doing maintenance renewals and things of that nature. So we decided to simplify this whole thing for you, make the software actually enforce that conversation. And so now it's built into the software, starting at version 7.6 and going forward. If you have a single IP address, then that same IP address replicated multiple times inside your configuration is only going to consume a single license from us. So a functional example might be if any of you out there have analog systems, and you got a 16-channel encoder, you would acquire a single license from us, one IP license for that 16-channel encoder, and you would just add that encoder 16 different times, and you would be able to consume one license but have your 16 channels worth of video. So it simplifies that deployment, makes the software enforce that for you, makes it a whole lot easier for you to place orders for and go ahead and roll out those deployments. The next thing that we've done on the desktop client side of things is we spent a little bit of time trying to make the experience with the fisheye and D-warp cameras a little better. We've implemented some new software technologies that should introduce a smoother moving video image for you when you are in a D-warped mode, watching live or playing back some of those fisheye D-warped cameras. We've also kind of unified some of the controls for them. As you know, some of you that do have fisheyes, there is a right-click, drag left, and drag right kind of operation for zooming in and zooming out. We opted to unify all of those things and make it match the same digital PTZ and PTZ experience that you have today, which is click in the image and then just use your little thumb wheel on your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. So unified and similar kind of control, and a smoother moving video for you. So for those of you that have those 360 panamorphic type lenses on your systems, getting an upgrade to 7.6, you should see a little bit smoother moving video, maybe not quite as jerky, and you'll have an easier control interface. All right, so that's it from the web client and the core software product side of things. Our product manager, Dan Burke's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the cool things that are happening out there in the world of integrations. Dan, you want to take it away?
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Good morning from Integration Land. So got a couple updates, new thing, and let's just roll with it here. So Brivo integration. So Brivo is a cloud-based access control platform, and we've had an integration with them for many years, but it was time for a refresh on it. So with this update, we brought it into the modern 64-bit world. We used our latest API and SDK to make it just perform better. And with this integration, it allows you to monitor alarms generated off of the Brivo cloud platform. You associate those with cameras in your CompleteView system, and you get pop-ups in Alarm View. You get notification on visualization on the maps of alarms coming in to those associated cameras. And what's really nice with this integration is that just one instance of that integration module is all you need, no matter how many recording servers you have in your system. So you don't have to go and install this on each and every server. It's just one and done. So it makes it very, very nice. And there is a requirement from the Brivo side. You need an API license for this, but with all of our integrations, nothing is required on the CompleteView side. Right. Moving on there, Adam. Hey, this is a new integration. This is Connect One. They are a kind of a security accumulator of a sort. What they are is a PSIM. Physical Security Information Management System. PSIM's a lot easier to say there. And what they do is they take feeds from all different kinds of security systems, be that intrusion, access control, video, perimeter defense detection systems, anything you want to do, and puts them all into a single interface. So it makes it easier to manage all of your systems. And the integration with CompleteView is they're pulling in video and events from CompleteView into their interface. And so that makes it for a nice single pane of glass if you've got other security systems to monitor video and also do video verification. That's one of their strong suits, is video verification of alarms. Right? So you don't have, you're trying to cut down those false alarms. So if you're a Connect One customer already, that makes it easier. You can just have this integrated into your platform there. And if you're a dealer for Connect One, this opens up a lot of new sales opportunities for you with your CompleteView customers. All right, next one. All right, so we'll talk about adding more sense to CompleteView. We do video. That's what we do, right? But there's a lot more to be monitored and detected out there. So with our recent integrations with these really smart sensors, multi-sensors, we can make this so detection is not just about the video, right? These sensors can essentially, hear, smell, and taste. So they can feel things like motion, temperature, humidity, even, feeling, if people are too close, that's occupancy. So they can sense that. They can, detect bad air quality, particulates, volatile organic compounds, certainly vaping, smoking, THC, regular smoke from a fire, and they can also listen, right, for aggression, for fights breaking out, for keywords. Like if you've got somebody yells help, that'll activate that sensor and give you an alert in CompleteView. Now, important to note that even though the sensors are listening, we don't hear any of the audio in CompleteView. So makes these sensors really great for privacy sensitive areas. So you can install these where you normally would not put a camera or can't put a camera. So bathrooms, break rooms, locker rooms, fitting rooms in retail stores, places like that, patient rooms, right? Or even in nursing facilities, long-term care facilities, you can put these in and still respect the absolute privacy of the people in those rooms. All right. So we've got a couple of sensors already integrated in. We've got the Pelco Halo sensor, used to be IP video, but they got acquired by Motorola, and the Halo is now being rolled into the Pelco product lineup. And then Triton sensors, the Ultra sensor, we've got those integrated in. And just like with any other type of alarm coming into CompleteView, you get pop-up and alarm view, camera pop-up there. You get visualization on maps. You can associate one or more cameras with the sensor inputs. And also, as the events come in, they're actually listed as to what they are. It's not just a generic, hey, I've got an alarm here. It's actually listed out for what it's actually detecting. All right. And that's really important for not just, making sure you respond properly to the alarm, but also for historic forensic searching. So I'm going to do a little demo of that.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Dan. So Dan's going to go ahead and get set up and show us some of this sensing stuff. Sensing these sensor integrations are not net new to 7.6. We've had them for a little while in our platform, but this is something that we really do have a lot of interaction in the field with. A lot of our end users are interested in using intelligent sensors to create actions inside of the video platform. Use the data that those sensors are picking up to be a leading edge kind of search tool to go find the video recordings or give them some additional intelligence that they can go use. So Dan's going to show us a couple of ways that some of our customers are using these sensors as they integrate into CompleteView.
All right, thanks, Adam. Yeah, I'm all set up, ready to go here. So this is my system that I like to test things on, and I have both a Triton Ultra sensor here. All right, here, this is the dashboard that comes in as video that we're recording. And I also have a Pelco Halo sensor, this one here, and that's the dashboard from them. And I actually happen to have a Halo sensor sitting on my desk, so I can actually fire off some test events. So let's start with aggression. Yeah. And there you see it in the list. Let me stop that list of events so I can show you that. So there's the aggression, and it's actually listed as aggression coming in there. And now I've also got this Bosch camera associated to my Halo sensor, so that when I get an event on my Halo sensor, it also triggers alarm recording on my Bosch camera. Start that back up. Now, because we're in Texas, it usually follows that you get a gunshot after aggression. I'm kidding. So let me just fire off the gunshot alert there. There we go. It comes in, says gunshot. All right. And earlier I was talking about Brivo. Well, I actually I can fire off some Brivo events, and this is actually from the cloud. So I can do this. I can hit a card swipe here. There we go. So there's the Brivo event, and that's tied to this camera right here. If I hover over, it pops up a little preview window there. Okay, but there's that Brivo event. I'm going to do another one here. This should be registered as a short. There we go. So that says a wire short. And just some more card swipes here. But you see those events coming in the Brivo, and they're visualized on a map. Okay, so pretty cool there. All right. Now, one of the things that I like to do with maps, you can do this, is I'm going to zoom in on that area where I've got my Halo sensor here. Is I'm going to select the cameras from the map using this here, get to show the tooltip. So select cameras, and I'm just going to draw a box around the cameras that I want to show here. Okay, grab that. Okay, and then I'm going to say live view cameras. So this creates a temporary view of those cameras that I've selected from the map. Okay, now if I hold down my control key, I can click and check off the box on each of these tiles like that. And then I'm going to right click, playback video, and review in timeline. Okay, so from a live event, right, to reviewing it in timeline, multiple cameras simultaneously, it's just a couple of clicks. Right, and from here, I'm going to play backwards in reverse. But I'm going to zoom in on the timeline here. Down here, I got a zoom level. I'm going to go really granular here and go back in 2 minutes. Okay. Now you can actually see it playing backwards because there's not a lot of action actually happening on these cameras right now. But you'll see the timeline is color coded. So I've got alerts coming in from different devices. And this is actually at a different time. Nope, that is the correct time. All right, so do this. You can scrub the timeline just by clicking on it and dragging it. And there's somebody in the field of view. There we go. I like to make people dance on video. It's kind of fun doing that. Just by dragging the timeline, move it back and forth. And he's probably going to kill me for that. So, but here, and this is a great feature. I love this feature. Let me pause the video there. Is I'm going to select all of my cameras. Okay. And then up here, I'm going to select the trim and export. Now, we've shown you this before, but I really like to show this. So trim and export, select that. And as you can see, it says select the default time period down here, indicated by the black bars on the timeline. But I'm going to select the trim individually box here. And now I can say, okay, I need this event and this event in the yellow on my halo sensor. And then on the Bosch camera, I just need video for here to here. And then on my accounting camera, I'm just going to do it actually for here. And then on this camera, there we go. And now that what that's going to do is when I click the checkbox or the check mark here, it's going to add it to my export queue. And as you can see, they're added to export queue. All right, so let's look at the halo sensor in detail. Okay, if I go to event search, okay, and let's go back a little bit more in time. Let's go back. I'll show you. Yeah, let's go back to the day before. All right. Okay, and you can see what I've got here is a list of events, and it's listed. It says what it detected, right? So if I click on the motion event, you'll see over here in the video window that the motion icon is red now. And if I hit the gunshot where it detected a gunshot, now the gunshot icon is highlighted. And if I just want to say, okay, let's just look for gunshots, I can filter those events down like that, very simple and easily. Now you can also do this in dashboard. And this is a great way to do some reporting of events. I'm going to go to dashboard here. I'm going to search for events. Search event. Okay. And event source is going to be from the camera in this instance, because we treat the halo sensor as a camera, even though there's no video coming from it other than the dashboard. I want to make sure I get my generic camera device events here. That's selected. Okay. And then I can just filter. Oh. There we go. So I just typed in gun, make sure I selected the correct event type there. And you can see I've got all my gunshots here. And now I can export those to a report that I can open up in Excel and do some reporting on. And this is a great way to find, let's say you're a school administrator and, you got a group of kids, they're skipping class, right? And are vaping in the bathroom, but you want to be able to, kind of really narrow down exactly when they're skipping class, when they're gathering, when they're doing their vaping and stuff. So it's a great way to do a report and find out, when they're actually getting out there and vaping. And allows you to hunt them down and get them back into class. All right. And that is it for our demo. All right, back to you, Adam.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So yeah, as you can see with the smart sensor technology, you can do a lot of different things, right? You can use those sensors to create alerts that you can pop up on the map. You can use them as a way to highlight and identify adjacent cameras that are nearby, and then rapidly get to that video for playback using the GeoView feature that's built into our mapping technologies. And once you've done that, you can immediately jump to playback. You don't have to have a pre-built view made in order to go play back what you just saw, the sensor triggering and all of the associated cameras nearby. So even if you neglected to make the sensor trigger all the cameras around to create the alarm, you can still go pull all those cameras in, take a look at them, and then perform a playback on them fairly quickly. And as Dan was showing, using the event search capability, you can also export a bunch of text information about the types of events that are happening, and then use external tools like other BI tools and things like that to maybe do some type of trend analysis and identify if there's something that you need to, on a schedule, react to within your business. So these are really powerful tools. We're seeing a lot of our customers using more and more of those. So feel free to, maybe work with your different sales reps from those different sense technologies, see if you can get a pilot technology going, and work with us. We're happy to get you set up and configured. We're having those things work inside of your system so you can see if they're valuable for you as well.
Yep. Just one more thing, Adam. I just wanted to mention that because we are recording the dashboard as video, that comes in as a channel license. That's a requirement there.
Okay. Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
All right. So those were the things that are coming in 7.6. It's available, or will be available coming up towards the end of May that we wanted to show you. Want to give you all a little look at what we're going to be working on going forward for this year and what we've got our eye on in terms of bigger initiatives for 2026. So let's talk a little bit about the roadmap. So in the second half of this year, we've got some pretty powerful tools that we're working on developing and delivering for you. The most important, I think, of those is metadata enhanced search capabilities. We're building our foundational efforts for that, which is basically a way to take in metadata from on-VIF cameras and let you search for the information that those cameras are driving across multiple recording servers, multiple cameras. And part of that search effort is an event service that's going to basically be the front end to collect that data, plus a lot of other data that we want to bring in from third-party integrations, access control platforms, and things of that nature, even our own event data that you saw Dan looking at. We're going to start trying to put some of those things into a normalized type of event service that all of these searches can be done through, so that you can improve your search experience to just look for the thing you're interested in, not the camera, then the time and date, and then can you put in what you want to look for. Just start with the information that you want to go look for. As Eric had said earlier, we're going to keep building on that WebClient enhancement. I know that some of you out there liked what you saw with the WebClient and its multi-camera playback and investigation capabilities that we're leveling up there. We want to build that back-end performance improvement, so look for some improvements there related to usability, maybe some H.264 decoding natively so that you can run those more frequent investigations. And we're also going to be building on our cloud services. And we're looking to ensure that these enhanced search efforts that we're doing are also supportable and capable through the cloud services. We want to improve some of those registration fees, maybe take some of that grit out of getting those management servers registered up to the cloud portal that some of you guys are out there doing. And then in 2026, we just want to keep building on some of the momentum that we're working towards in 2025. So we're going to expand our metadata search. So we're going to go from core attribute support to start building in more of the broader attribute support, and then integrating those same kind of search tools and capabilities with the web and the mobile clients. You saw the same pattern with us before, right? Where we launched our desktop client and we put in that enhanced search or enhanced playback experience, and then you saw that start to move through the web clients and mobile. Similar kind of thing is going to happen here with the metadata enhanced search. We're also going to be looking at building a service for access control. What we want to do there is try to make this more consistent for all of you out there. Some of you that have access control integrations with us might have a couple of functionalities in that access control integration, and some other ones of you out there may have a bunch of things, a whole lot of features related to your access control integrations. What that really does is it creates kind of a lumpy set of compatibility or features available in these different access control integrations. We want to take away some of those roadblocks, and so to do that, that, what we're looking to do is build a service that will sit in front of our recording servers and our management servers. And it's going to normalize all of the access control events, making it more possible for a standard suite of functionality to exist in an access control integration as it relates to CompleteView. We've also got our eye on, in 2026, looking to bring you some form of multi-factor authentication. There's a lot of different ways that can be developed. So we know that we're looking to do something like that, but we're working towards delivering something that'll be functional for what all of you are going to need. We want to build some more system and health monitoring into our product as well, giving the dashboard some capabilities for better diagnostics and usability and serviceability. And like in the second half of this year, we're going to continue to try to add value to our Salient cloud services. Got our eye on a couple different things there, potentially bringing federation up to cloud, maybe possibly doing something related to video or clip sharing, or maybe even going down the path of streamlining some licensing and management. So yet to be seen on where we're going to go take all of these things, but those are all some of the big items that we're looking at moving through from the second half of this year, and then concepts and ideas that we're looking towards in 2026. So that is the end of a lot of the content that we wanted to show you this morning. So we'll go ahead and carve out a little bit of time, maybe 5 minutes or so, for any kind of Q&A. So give us a second to get set up on the Q&A and the chat here, and we'll see if there's anything in there that we can talk through and answer. All right, so nothing in the Q&A side. Let's start with the chat. All right, so looks like there's a question. All right, so looks like Gavin's asking if the federated management server replaces the child management servers, or is it bi-directional? So no, the parent management server does not replace it. It is a necessary component, right? You have to have the parent, and then you have all the children. So they all communicate effectively in sync with each other. I guess the question is kind of like a bi-directional sync kind of question. So it sounds like the follow-on there is that if I make a change in a child management server, is it reflected up in the parent management server? One thing to note about Salient's federation is we are federating exclusively the users. So there's really there's no synchronization effectively that you got to push from a child up to the parent management server. Think about it more like the parent's always pushing the user changes down. And it's not even, as Chris had said earlier, it's not even really a requirement, right? So if you have a user that you do not want to be federated, then you don't go to the federated parent management server and put them there. You can just put them directly in the child management server. So there's, it removes a requirement to think about pushing back and forth or syncing. You just decide, is it a federated user? Put them at the parent and associate them with the individual children you want them to be in. If it's not a federated user, you could put them straight into the child management server if you wanted to. So hopefully that addresses your question. If it doesn't, Gavin, feel free to send a follow-on in here. Otherwise, we'll look to send a direct response back to you via email. Let's take a look and see if we've got any other questions in here. Looks like Chris has a question about event integration with Access Radar. I do believe, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong here, I do believe that we have some customer sites that are using some of Access's radar equipment. And I think we even have some in our technical support lab. Our tech support team likes to tinker with things. And one of our team members back there actually set one up. I know that we are able to get events from those devices. I'm pretty sure we're getting triggers to start recording. And I think we can also pick up an RTSP stream from it. So Chris, correct, if there's a deeper level of integration that you're looking for, then let's maybe have a conversation about that. We'll follow on maybe with an email to you after this session is done with, and we can have a discussion, maybe get your systems engineer involved, and we'll see if there's something deeper that you're looking to do that we can maybe help you get accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely, because we can definitely get the events from the Access Radar devices, not a problem.
Cool, good. All right. Well, it looks like
the Q&A section, I believe.
All right, let's jump over and take a look. All right. Daniel's got a question for us. Daniel asks, can users get notified when the camera or recording server goes down? Pop-up notification, email, or call? Yes, you can. You do have the ability to get email notifications on a recording server losing connectivity. You'll just need to set up basically a mail server and get your system communicating with that, and then that can relay out your message. There's also a lot of other events that can be monitored at a recording server level, so you can send notifications on a bunch of those things. Typical workflow that we see for that is those emails get fired into a ticketing system, and that ticketing system usually auto-generates and auto-assigns a work item to somebody. So yeah, you've got the basis built into the system to send those notifications. Good question. Thanks, Daniel. Let me jump back to chat real quick and see if we have anything else. Don't see anything there. All right.
Adam,
Well, folks.
Actually, Adam,
What's that, Dan?
before we
Yeah.
go, I just wanted to show I was able to find one of those access radar. Let me share my screen here.
Oh, cool.
All right, so here's the access radar detector. I just added this to CompleteView really quickly. So we do get the it's that dashboard essentially of the detection. There's nothing moving in front of that radar detector right now, but it would show up as dots in that field of green. That's really just a video feed, RTSP feed. And then on the events, we have all kinds of different events here that we can get from there. Radar auto tracking, radar source, so we get channel 1 profile, so you can set up different profiles on the device for those detection events, and then we'll receive them in CompleteView.
Cool. Yeah, so there you go, Chris. You definitely have the event notification that you can pull off that stream. You can get the RTSP stream to show the live triggers that are happening. And then there's two core things you can do with that in CompleteView. You can either make an associated camera record differently because of that, but you can also do some associated PTZ action. So you could make PTZs move to particular presets and drive an action like that. So if there's more to it, like I said earlier, we'll start a convo with you via email. And we'll get you sorted out.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, folks. Really appreciate you stopping by to take a look at the things that we've got coming in 7.6. Keep an eye out for those downloads to become available on our website just towards the end of May. And if you want to get a deeper look at some of these things, feel free to come visit us at the trade show in Las Vegas at ISC West between April 2nd and April 4th. We'll have the ability to show you some of this technology there as well. So thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.